Hey everyone, this is Sean Cargill and this is the playlist for July 20th. First game we're going to be looking at here is Starfarer by Fractal Softworks. It is for Mac, PC, and Linux. You can pay $10 and pre-order it with immediate access to the alpha. And right now it is just a big open galaxy where you start with nothing, just with one ship and a little bit of money. And you go through the galaxy fighting pirates or factions and build up your fleet, and eventually you can have a big fleet which changes the game and adds more strategy to it, while at the beginning you're more just directly controlling your ship. It has a lot of details for everything. You have to recruit specific numbers of crew depending on how many ships you have. You can get marines for boarding ships. You have to have supplies. You can change all the different mounts on your ships. You have shields, you have flux, and if your shields get too much damage, your flux will go up and your ship can overload and it'll leave you defenseless, and the AI is pretty good at destroying you. Right now we're watching a battle from early on in the game when I only had 3 ships. It is currently in alpha, but even at that state it is already pretty fun. It obviously doesn't have a lot to it at the moment other than just going around and fighting and building up a fleet, but eventually it's going to have economics and a big role-playing and exploration part of it. But it doesn't have a release date or anything, and it's being made by a small team. And if you want to check out more on that, you can head on over to their website, which is in the info of the video. And coming up next is Dear Esther, which is a fairly old game, but I recently just picked it up on the Steam sale for really cheap, and I didn't really know what to expect even after hearing everything about it all the time. A lot of people really like it, but it is basically just an interactive story. I want to say an interactive novel, but it's not long enough to be a novel. It's only about an hour and a half, 2 hours long. And that's looking around everywhere and trying to explore. You don't really do anything in the game other than walk through environments. The environments are gorgeous, the narration is fantastic, and the music is really well done. All the sounds are really well done, but it literally has no gameplay other than walking around and going through new areas and experiencing the narration. It does offer its own unique experience, and I'm gonna shut up for a second here and let you all experience the narration and the music.
Donnelly drove a grey hatchback without a bottom. All the creatures of the tarmac rose to sing to him. All manner of symbols crudely scrawled across the cliff face of my unrest. My life reduced to an electrical diagram. All my gulls have taken flight. They will no longer roost on these outcrops. The lure of the moon over the
So Dear Esther is obviously really well done graphically. It uses the Source engine the best I've ever seen it used. It's using all of the new features that have been updated to it, and it just looks fantastic. But that isn't enough to recommend it, and I just wish it was longer and better. Up next is Fall of the Samurai for Shogun II. It is a standalone expansion that is normally about $30, and it is only $18 on sale right now. It doesn't go on sale much. This is the first time I've really seen it on sale for anything substantial since it's been out. It hasn't been out all that long, and it kind of takes you back to the previous Total War game, Empire, and makes everything more about guns and cannons. One of the coolest features of it is navies. They actually matter more now, and fighting with them is interesting, especially since now you can go into first person when it's anything cannon related. So even if you have artillery on a map, you can go into first person and control it yourself, which is kind of hard to do and almost a gimmick, but sometimes you can control it better than the AI can. And navies can come into land battles and actually support, and you can drop artillery barrages. So that's really new for the game. And it's obviously something that's leading up to Rome 2, because in Rome 2 they've announced that navies are going to be a big part of that as well. Except that obviously is going to be way earlier in history, and they're not going to be having cannons and all that. The campaign map is actually quite a bit different in Fall of the Samurai. There are now train routes you can build all along the map, and the map generally looks more modernized. There's less trees, and it just generally has a different look. Even the colors are different. The whole game has a substantial amount of new everything. The tech tree's changed. There's a whole bunch of factions, all of which are new and have their own unique units. Everything is really focused on gun battles with riflemen and the sword and cannons. You can also go the traditional route and still have katana samurai and bring in units that feel familiar to the original game. It is a really good expansion, one of the better ones I've ever seen, and it adds some multiplayer and single player. And if you're a fan of the series, you should check it out if you never have. And up next is Saints Row the Third, which I never thought I would like. I really liked Grand Theft Auto, all of them. I played all of them, but I've never played any of the Saints Row, and I always thought they kind of looked like crap. But it was on sale during Steam, and a couple people convinced me to get it, and it's actually really fun. It's absolutely ridiculous, everything. Story, gameplay, city, people, everything. But if you can embrace that ridiculousness, then there is a lot to enjoy here. There's a lot of side missions. They have a decent variety of them. They can get a little repetitive, but they do a good job with those. It has the whole single player open world, which you can also do co-op. And there's also player versus player co-op modes that you can do.
Them off a bit. You think? Friendly fire. That should get them to back off. Why would a gun store get them to
When you go through the game, you earn reputation, and that levels you up. It's basically experience. And when you level up, you earn new unlocks, which cost money. But you can do things like give your gang SMGs, or get the ability to call in a car, or call in gang members to help you somewhere. A lot of stuff like that. If you play the Saboteur, they have quite a few similarities with that. But you can also increase your health and ammo and a lot of different unlocks. And you level that up just going through the game, doing missions or side missions or story missions. But you do get it from everything. There's even hidden collectibles throughout the world that'll give you money. And there are basically tricks, kind of like GTA, that you can do that are unique, and those give you reputation and money too. I haven't gone too far into the game yet, but it is pretty damn enjoyable, and I don't regret spending $20 or $30 on it. It was on sale on Steam earlier for way less than that, for about $15, and it is currently on sale for $30. Next up, we have LA Noire, which is a detective game with the open world. And it has been out for quite some time on PC, PS3, and Xbox 360. And even though it has an open world, there's not much going on in the open world. There's a really big open world of LA, and you play a detective. So you can go around and help with side missions, which are helping other police out in, let's say, a robbery or someone's mugging someone. Lots of little things like that, which a lot of times end in violence. The combat system is okay. It handles cover okay, and shooting people is pretty easy and fine. But the most interesting part of the game is the interrogations and detective work. At the beginning of each case, which are basically chapters in the game, you go to a crime scene, you look around and try to find all the clues. As you go through the game, you earn experience, which will give you intuition points, which can help you find clues if you're having trouble, or they can also help you with interrogations. Each time you have to talk to someone, even when it's not an interrogation, even if you're just questioning a witness, you have to decide whether they're telling the truth, or you can doubt them, or you can say they're lying. But if you say they're lying, you have to provide evidence for why it is a lie. And you usually do that by being a good detective and finding a lot of clues around the scene. But it's really easy to think someone's lying and then fail and screw up. Like the one that just played here was a really simple one that had only one question, but a lot of them can have 5 or 6 questions, and some people you have to question about every single clue you find. And the game does a really good job of making it so you don't really know what's going on for sure. A lot of times it feels like you do, but then you'll find some odd clue that will screw up the case and make you feel like you're going after the wrong person. The story is pretty good, and I'm really enjoying it. I haven't beat it yet, but I'm about 80% through.
Thank you, ma'am. You've been a big help.
If you like story-based games that are really interactive, you should really enjoy Noire, especially if you like detective fiction. There isn't much to the game beyond that, but it is still a really fun game and definitely worth $5. Thanks for watching, and this is my first time doing this, so please leave me a comment and let me know if you'd like me to do something differently or anything. Let me know. Thanks.